Welcome back to the GSL with Tasis and Artosis, the casting Archon. We're here, and only one Code S gem remains.
Yeah, we're going to see who the final participant in the Code S is. Is it going to be San Zenith, or is it going to be Slayer's LegalMind?
I don't know.
Hard telling, not knowing.
It's gonna be a tough call here. Zalnaga Cavern, Scrap Station, and Steps of War will be our maps.
Well, it is PvP, and so obviously we're not going to have any map imbalances, positional imbalances here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Now, San Zenith has had some very disappointing performance.
Yeah.
Here in the GSL, he didn't make it very far. No, actually made it to round of 32, I believe.
He made it to round of 16 once.
Yeah, actually, that's right.
In the first season,
then round of 32, I think, in the second one.
Yeah, where he lost to Czech, I believe.
But that was a pretty disappointing game in the round of 32. Now he had disappointing games in Code S. I don't know if these are going to be disappointing here, but this is an important one for his career.
It is. It is. I mean, the loser of this goes to Code A, and there's a good chance we'll drop out of Code A. Code A is going to be a lot harder next season for sure.
Yeah, and we're still early on in the metagame of the tournaments here. We're still early on here at GSL. I mean, this is only our fourth season here, and each season takes roughly a month. So Code A, I mean, in a few months is actually going to be crazy hard. Like,
absolutely
crazy.
It's going to be a pretty legit tournament eventually.
All right, so head-to-head here, PvP, our final best of three before we do the grand finals, which will be held on Saturday. So enjoy this game, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun to cast. I have no idea what kind of strategies they're going to use. But I would definitely see these guys from the lower end of the Code A and Code S players.
Yes.
So we're going to see.
I would not be surprised if they...
Okay.
Well, let's see how this game goes.
The countdown's begun. Let's get ready for some PvP action here at the GSL. Over here in the red, we have our Protoss player. Our first, at least, I just realized how absurd what I just said was.
Slayer's
Over here, yeah, Slayer's LegalMind. Nice little bear on his outfit there. Over here in the bottom left, we have our other Protoss player.
Notice he's already sent a probe up the map. San Zenith has decided he's not the one losing under 10 minutes this game.
Uh-oh, but it's going to be spotted.
Wow, San Zenith.
Oh, busted.
You know what San Zenith probably feels like right now, Tasteless?
A
sad
jobber?
Zenith.
Sad Zenith. Very well. Could be the case.
Well, he's already lost out on a lot of minerals from sending that probe so quickly.
It's not exactly a map you can man or pylon on. Actually, it's pretty much almost... It's so difficult to man or pylon in StarCraft 2.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen it in StarCraft 2, actually.
Yeah, I don't think we have. Although, I don't actually even try to man or pylon. I wonder how effective it would be. Manor piloting, by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the strategy where you basically send in, you put a pylon in their mineral patch area, blocking in their probes that are farther back, because you can see the one that's on our far right. You put a pylon to the left of that, and you can trap in probes, or at least force their probes to go around. And StarCraft 1, it actually really helped you out economically and really hurt your opponent economically.
Yeah, games won and lost on them. San Zenith already falling behind a little bit. The probe production of Slayer's LegalMind a little bit quicker.
Cybernetic score on the way. We probably will see a Zealot next. Although, you know what, he probably doesn't even have to get a Zealot because, frankly, San Zenith is so behind. Core pretty late. Nice trying to block off that Cybernetic core by LegalMind.
Yeah, you want to delay that as much as possible. You know, Protoss vs. Protoss right now is completely dominated by 4 Warp Gate rushes. It's definitely the strongest build in the matchup, and odds are we'll see both players go for that. Delaying the core even for a second can actually potentially help you quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, that's you delay the core, your opponent is actually going to get his Warp Gate waves coming out so much slower.
And there are build orders timed out to where the second it finishes, your gateways finish, and you make them all into warp gates. You warp in units immediately and go up the ramp. And if you up that ramp and get even one extra volley off on someone doing the same build order who has it just a couple seconds slower, then that can actually change the entire game.
That's very true.
Notice he's getting ready for this build. LegalMind already stopping his probes at 19. That is very few probes. It's a super fast
I believe this is about as fast as you can possibly warp gate, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah. Notice Sun Zenith a little bit slower on this. So LegalMind, if he gets down there and warps in immediately,
he's going to raffle stomp him.
He can win off that because his warp gate is quicker. His gateways are slightly quicker as well. And just a super fast attack can change that.
Now, Sun Zenith is doing this right. You want to be on the map, and you want to be trying to engage where the probe is probably going to put that warp gate down, because if you're behind, it's a coming.
Yeah. And just making that pylon be further back will buy him time, the travel distance between the pylon and his main base, to actually successfully perhaps defend. Well, tasteless.
Okay,
it's
starting.
I'm talking about. If that was a little bit closer, he'd already have more units going up the ramp than his opponent has. But
warp gates are starting now.
His warp gates are
If he gets that pylon, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, he only has one pylon charging those gates. That is a mistake. But
that's
Zenith actually doing all right. Notice good micro by Slayer's LegalMind. Zenith bringing a couple probes up.
Ouch, nice
Zealots
sniping.
being warped in.
Now, of course, you want to just have the Zealots chase the Stalkers while the...
Should go after that pylon.
Get that pylon. Nope, the Stalkers re-engage here. In which
Zealots dealing sick damage very, very quickly, tanking a lot of damage as well. Notice his Stalkers targeting Sun Zenith Stalkers. But Sun Zenith just has more units. He has the defensive advantage.
It all goes back to that pylon.
Yeah.
It does. I don't know why he got a sentry here. Why would you get a sentry?
Yeah, that's actually
rush?
Amazing that he got a sentry. I think he's just going to turn this into a containment.
I guess you're right.
That has to be it. I mean, you're going to attack up the ramp with that sentry? What are you going to do? What are you going to do, Tasteless?
You crazy guy. What you going to do, you crazy guy?
So now, Slayer's LegalMind is behind Sun Zenith. And Tasteless.
Artosis.
Game time already up to 7:30. Sun Zenith breaking records for himself.
Now, he's not going to contain. I don't understand.
Yep.
He should. If he is going to do the contain, I warp in 2 sentries and try to get like 3 force fields in a row while I expand and make stuff.
Now, here's the thing. Sun Zenith can just bring a probe with him and go do the same thing back because he killed more units than his opponent killed. As long as he keeps making units, he will have the better army. And he is actually just going to go for a Stargate now against the robotics of LegalMind.
What do you think about the Stargate?
Well, it's not the right situation to go Stargate. Stargate is something that is evolving into PvP, but it's after the 4 gates fail, yet you take expansions. Going for it blind, if his opponent simply makes an observer and sees it, then he can just sit there and make stalkers mostly.
Note he didn't see the robo.
Yeah. Interesting build by Sun Zenith. We'll have to see how this works out. You know, he already does have more units, so that's obviously going to help out.
By the way, guys, don't forget to ask questions on the GoMTV.net forums.
Yeah. It's very important.
Don't.
Good questions for interviews.
Void Ray on the way.
Supply right now, Slayer's LegalMind 10 supply down on his opponent after that failed rush, and 5 probes down. So his economy is not all that great right now.
Well, if he goes for a Colossus, this Void Ray stuff can actually work.
Yeah, but again, the observer is going to go down and see the or it should, but it turned around.
It's not. I think I'm not sure what he's doing here. He might be looking for his opponent's observer, trying to intercept it.
Yeah. Well,
Immortal coming. And that is pretty smart for him to hide the Void Ray.
But, you know, when that observer gets there, he's going to see Void Rays are making, and then cancel the robotics support bay, and just go for heavier warp gate units.
I don't think he canceled it.
No,
he let it stay up.
We'll see. And he's going to make a Colossus.
Wow, he's going to make a Colossus even though he sees it.
Sees that Void Rays are being produced and decides to make his Colossus. You know, even with Void Rays out, obviously a Colossus is going to deal insane damage to the ground units, but he doesn't have the economy for that. He needs to be warping in Stalkers. You know?
Yeah.
You know, Tasteless?
Stuck. I know what you mean. I feel you.
But he is behind unit-wise as well from the earlier battle. So, he needs everything he can possibly get to
that's
try to
very
stop
true.
this. I think that the attack is just going to work so simply on him. He does have some sentries to slow it down, so that's going to help.
Well, I don't know why he would attack up that ramp with sentries there. All right, the Colossus is out.
Interesting force fields there.
Yeah.
Walking them over him. Supply right now, 76 for Sun Zenith, 71 for Slayers.
Here he goes. I don't know why they're engaging on the ramp right now.
Void Ray's taking that down so fast. But still, Sun Zenith with more than enough units to take this out. Notice the Void Rays not being hit by anything because he has nothing to really hit them with.
And this is going to make this pretty easy here. He does take out one Void Ray, but this is just too much. And that's going to be GG.
All right.
Wow. Kind of a weird game, a little bit amateur.
Yep. It worked out for Sun Zenith.
You know, I can't believe he made that Colossus.
That's pretty difficult to believe. But he was in a terrible position anyways. His rush just failed quite hard.
Yeah. I got to commend San Zenith on stopping that pylon.
Yeah,
that first pylon.
That was a very important part of the game.
That's smart.
He was going Warp Gate Rush so quickly, he skipped the Zealot and thus skipped some additional probes as well. And without that, he couldn't hold that pylon position.
That was exactly what happened.
Yeah, so the additional rush time allowed Sun Zenith to get units in time, and that's actually exactly what the game came down to.
So we did learn something from that game in the first few minutes. You're behind. Your opponent's going to Warp Gate Rush you because it's Protoss versus Protoss, and assuming your opponent's good. And basically you say, all right, well, I need to find that pylon and delay that. That's my only way I'm going to win.
Yeah.
Because he actually went for the all-in Warp Gate Rush. He had only 19 probes. He actually cut probes.
Yeah, no, he cut even more probes than most people. Most people cut probes at 23.
23?
That's normally where you stop for the Warp Gate Rush, but that was
Countdown's begun. This could be our last game before the finals. Could be the second to last. I don't know. It depends on who wins between San Zenith and LegalMind.